1.0 summary based on an undercover investigation by ITV Exposure series, which will air on Thursday night. They unveil the hidden face of Bangladesh sweet shop making garments for machines all over the world. They look into how workers continue to put their life on the line for the sake of fashion, despite everyday violence, verbal abuse, and great pressure to fulfill deadlines. Rana Plaza was a structural failure that happened on April 24, 2013 in the Sever Upazila of Dhaka district, Bangladesh, when a nine-story commercial building fell. The, the search of the missing finished on May 13, 2013, which 1,130 people killed. Watching factories, a bank residence, and a number of shops were all housed in the structure.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And before we continue our presentation, I'm going to tell you about fashion. Fashion is one of the most important things in these days, where we can see many designer brands such as Dior, Gucci, Chanel, and etc. become one of the most popular brands being pursued by millionaire and even average monthly income people. The brand itself gives an exclusive vibe to their owners and also gives supremacy to the others that can get their hands on them. But there are also that side to these luxury brands and even other popular fashion brands where they tend to use force on their labels. Usually, these issues are tended by the mass fast fashion chains companies, but the issues itself can be stopped if the demand itself keeps growing. More and more people are pursuing careers in the fashion industries by becoming an influencer and even as a stylist full-timers. More demand is created in stylish fashion with cheap set of price. Will the issues be solved in the near future? Can the management fight for human rights? And how can we solve these issues in the first place, and many others questions.
Addressing the issue, innovative employee. Those three factories do not have innovative employees because the company disregard the human rights. Innovative employees didn't come out from the worker that was abused by the company. As you can see in the documentary, those three factories treated them badly. Therefore, it's very valuable to have innovative employees. A good organization will provide the necessary exposure and training to encourage employees to think creatively. Trend in current practice. The trend in current practice is the demand from the big companies causes child labor and forced labor. It's not about people inside in the industry. It's just about the profit that can be made taking advantage of workers and disregarding human rights. One of the factory hire a child with lower wage because they want to cut the cost. The workers never get their right and they continue to suffer because they don't have a choice, and these big companies take advantage of it. Last, nature of employment. Nature of employment additionally refer back to the various factors connected to a positive employment position. The nature from these three factory, we can see how the company push their worker over the limit, avoid safety rules, and abuse their worker, and getting their clothes produced at the lowest possible price and the quickest possible deadline, but their wage are very low and they take advantage of it. The big company always find the factory like in the Bangladesh or Cambodia to cut the costs. Workers don't have a choice because they need money to live, and the company manager just ignore their right as worker as long as the company can make profit.
Next is related to documentary. In Chapter 1, The World of Innovative Management, the documentary contains negative elements that contradict what we learn in the principle of management. There are 4 management processes in the basic function of management: planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. In planning, according to the documentary, an employee took 3 hours to make 13 pieces. They will be forced to pass the target. Instead, from the point of view of the planning process, the manager should set an objective and decide what needs to be done to achieve those objectives. Next, leading. Manager at earlier fashion factory threaten their employees with beating or dismissing if they are not achieve set goals and target Also, one of the women narrated in this documentary who worked at other fashion factory had to work 89 hours in 7 days. Based on the leadership function, this is not a privilege. It is due to the fact that a leader must respect their employees and abide by labor laws. Besides the control, according to the documentary, the male manager of oil fashion factory abused the young girl for not working fast. At another factory, they were told they had to work all night to complete large order. Totally in concern with monitoring employees' activities, keeping the organization on track.
The next part is chapter 2, the evolution of management thinking. In this part, we're going to cover topics which are classic perspective, humanistic perspective, and innovative management thinking into the future. In the summary, we can say the factories only focus on their production itself without focusing on their laborers' rights or humans' rights. Next, chapter 3, the environment of corporate culture. In this topic, we're going to cover the general task and internal environment, which are we're going to talk about the internal and external environment that can affect the factories itself, such as, for the example, like customers and the enemies.
And last but not least, in chapter 7, planning and goal setting. Theoretically, management should require contingency planning. As a result, managers must determine the company's response in the event of an emergency, setback, or unforeseen situation. Managers create contingency plans by identifying important environmental factors such as the possibility of an economic downturn, the market downturn, recent supply, cost, or security concerns. And other than that, such stretching goals for management excellence are reasonable but very ambitious set of goals. The organization must set goals that are appropriate for the number of workforce and skills levels. According to the documentary, one of the workers took 3 hours to complete 13 paces. If they fail to reach the target, they will be forced to do so later. Managers, in our opinion, should set objectives and decide what needs to be done to achieve them. The next step is crisis planning. Organization, managers, and employees must be prepared for catastrophic events that could destroy a company. Poor working relationships are one of the causes of management failure. The management of this fashion factory does not have a good relationship with their employees and does not care about the needs of the employees in the organization. For example, a fire in a factory is shown to be in a locked condition and the worker must continue to work even if the building must close because there are threats in the building.
Next, conclusion. An almost 50-minute video clip is for management information requesting a daily activity in fashion factory. Exploiting its people is really eye-opening not only for us but also for the 80,000 YouTube users. Good managers should treat all staff with dignity. Good managers should encourage their staff to work harder and not abuse of treating them. Finally, in order to avoid a negative work atmosphere, employers and employees must communicate all issues. Furthermore, employees must concentrate for their job in order to meet their employees' objective. Lesson from the documentary. First, follow the rules. Good managers should adhere to the company SOP, which is standard operating procedure, in order to ensure the safety of their employees and should not lie about it. Workers advise employers, for example, have been trained by their manager to lie about their training and worker hours to factory safety inspectors. Second, communication. To build a good organization that benefit each other, excellent managers should use two methods of communication with employees, workers at Plaza, Apparel, and Oliva Fashion Factory. For example, they did not have the right to express their opinion without being harassed and scolded by the boss.